Good afternoon. Good afternoon, شباب. ازيكم? Welcome to our session. Hopefully, inshallah, it's not going to be a very long one. The session is being videoed so that we send it to our colleagues doing their bachelor's abroad. The goal of the session, as you of course know, is to discuss the electives that we're offering to you next semester, the winter semester. So we'll discuss each elective briefly. We'll answer any questions that you may have. Some of our colleagues have agreed to come and discuss their electives in person. We have the ones that could not come. I will be actually talking about their electives, okay? So we will start by just a little bit of intro to the elective process itself, starting with why you actually take electives. The elective course is a chance to focus on a specific area in media engineering and technology, okay? So the other courses that we study, we call them core courses. The core courses study an essential field of computer science and engineering or digital media engineering and technology. Elective courses are different. It means that in elective courses, we focus on a specific area. It's not a core area, it's a specific area, and the goal of the course is mainly to actually discuss the state of the art in this particular area. This is the goal of the elective course. And so we take elective courses so that we fine-tune our skills in a particular area. It could be an area that we are generally interested in, it could be an area that we want to learn more about, or it could be an area in which we expect that we will have a career in after we graduate, okay? As you, I'm sure, know, we take 2 electives in the 9th semester and another 2 electives in the 10th semester. So hopefully, we'll meet again around December. We'll meet earlier, of course, but we will have another session around December to discuss the elective courses that will be offered in the 10th semester. The deadline for choosing the electives for the 9th semester is May the 18th. And let me tell you what this deadline means. After this deadline, you will not be allowed to drop an elective course. This is what the deadline means. You will not be allowed to drop an elective course. In the first week of the winter semester, we will open the registration again for the elective courses, so you will be allowed to add. But with a small condition. You will be allowed to add the courses that are offered at this time. As we will see, some elective courses have a capacity. So we expect that these courses will be filled. In other courses, sometimes these courses become popular. The students register in them in large numbers. And sometimes the instructor decides that we are going to now close any further registration in this course. It happened, for example, with my IoT course that I'm teaching this semester. The course was registered by more than 100 students. It is more than the capacity that myself and the TA who is teaching the course can actually support. So we closed the registration at this number. So it happens. So if you wait until the first week of the winter semester, you will be allowed to add, but you will be allowed to add only the courses that are offered at that time. Okay? So of course, you are advised to add before May the 18th. So you can actually choose from the entire pool of courses that are offered. But in both cases, after May the 18th, you will not be allowed to drop a course. You can take additional courses. So instead of 2 courses, you can take 3, you can take 4 if you want, but you'll not be allowed to drop. Okay? Brings us now to the topic of how do we choose an elective course? We are offered, in this semester, we are offered 7 elective courses. How do we choose from them? A straightforward answer would be focus on your strengths and your interests, what you're good at, and what you actually want to learn. If you're not particularly interested in one of these courses or 2 of those courses, think of your future career. Which of the courses would actually help you after you graduate? This could be some of the categories that you might consider while choosing a course. I advise students not to be afraid of a challenge. If you like a course but you think it's a bit difficult, don't be afraid of that. Challenge yourself. You might actually have to exert a little bit more effort, but you will learn from the course as long as you're actually interested in the topic. Other issues that you can consider while choosing a course is the amount of support that you will get. Is there a TA associated with the course? Not all electives have TAs. Is there a TA? Is the instructor generally helpful? Do they have regular office hours? What kind of evaluation methods do we have? Is there a project? Is there assignment? What kind of practical work do you want to do? Do you prefer courses that have more theoretical material, or do you prefer courses that are more practice-oriented? These are some of the things that you would consider. And if none of those things apply to what you're thinking of, maybe this list will help. This is something that I think we showed you before in a previous orientation session for the bachelor project. It's the top 10 list of required skills that was posted by LinkedIn last year. Of course, in 1 year, we don't expect the list to change much. So some of these areas will, of course, be pertaining in the next few years as well. This might be something that you want to consider while you're actually choosing a course. One important point before we move actually to the list of electives is that there is no one-size-fits-all. And I'm sure you have learned that already from the bachelor projects. There is no bachelor project that is perfect. There is no elective that is perfect. In any elective that you will choose, there might be topics that you will like, that you will be interested in. Other topics might not be so much. So you have to expect that while you are choosing the elective courses. Okay? Right. We have 7 elective courses offered. All of the courses are offered to our both majors, CSEN and DMET, except for one course, which is Fundamentals of Voice over IP. That's Dr. Hisham's course. And the reason it's only offered to DMET is that because it requires a certain level of background that only DMET students would have. Am I correct? Yes. Yeah. So, and Dr. Hisham will talk about this course in a little bit of details later. All the other courses are offered to both majors. So we have Natural Language Processing and Information Retrieval. That's Dr. Muhammad Al-Mahdi's course. Machine Learning Algorithms. That's Dr. Aisha Safti's course. Human-Computer Interaction. That's Dr. Wael's course. Constrained Programming. That's Professor Slim's course. Evaluation and Empirical Methods. It's taught by a professor from Germany. His name is Professor Albrecht Schmidt. And Selected Topics in Modern Networks. That is my own course. Okay? The last 2 courses have a capacity. They are offered only to 25 students chosen by GPA. Okay? Right. We'll talk about each one of these courses in a little bit more detail. We'll start with the first one, which is Natural Language Processing and Information Retrieval. This course is a first-time offering, so Dr. Muhammad will be teaching it for the first time. I think, okay, so I'll say I think it's not my course, but according to the information that he provided me, the course is divided into 2 parts, Natural Language Processing and Information Retrieval. Natural Language Processing is the study of the methods necessary to analyze and process natural languages. It relates to several application domains, such as, for example, predictive typing. When you type on your mobile phone and your phone suggests words to finish your sentence. This is natural language processing. Text analysis, speech recognition. There are actually many fields where we apply natural language processing, and with up-and-coming AI applications, it is becoming, of course, a very important field. This is half of the course. The other half is related to information retrieval. How do we retrieve data from structured or unstructured sources? And here, the focus will be on massive amounts of data. How do we retrieve that? Okay. So the course will be 1 lecture per week plus 1 tutorial per week. The lecture is mostly theoretical, and the tutorial is mostly practical. Okay? All electives are actually 5 credit hours, so this is a mistake in the slides. So it's just 5 credit hours, not 4. Okay? Probably the TA for the course will be Magid Chalabi. It's not 100% determined yet, but most likely this is the TA that will be chosen for the course. Okay? Type. The evaluation method, we have 15% quizzes, 15% for a project, 25% for a midterm, and 45% for the final. Okay? These are basically the course content. The course will start with a little bit of the basics of NLP and basics of information retrieval. And then the course will go into methods that support these two processes, supports NLP and supports information retrieval, such as statistical machine learning algorithms that goes into supporting NLP process, NLP applications, and how to evaluate some of the methods that actually will be taught in this course. Okay? So, any questions about this course? Shall I move on? Okay. So I think I can give the floor to Dr. Hisham to talk about the second course, which is Fundamentals of Voice over IP.
What I'm offering in terms of elective courses, one course that's Fundamentals of Voice over IP. This course is continuation to the multimedia and networking course that's DMAT 704. And if you remember, raise your hand if you took the DMAT 704. Thank you very much. If you remember, there was a chapter about session initiation protocol in order to carry voice over IP. Actually, this course is nothing but taking this further. Why? Because when it comes to audio and voice communications, guess what? Most probably this will be communicated digitally over IP networks. And for this reason, for digital media students, they may wish to learn more about how to do that, how to take voice very far away to the other side of the globe. So basically, this course is nothing but signaling and voice transport. So in signaling, we will learn how to make and break a session, that's voice session or video session. And voice transport, we will learn how to transport voice and audio, including DTMF, that's dual tone multi-frequency signal, and some protocols like RTP that we know already. We might take it even further to other protocols as well, okay? The course is 40% final, 40% project, that's mainly coding, and 20% assignments, 2 assignments for the whole semester. Yes? No, not necessarily so. Actually, the assignments are normally you go and read, come back and present something that you have learned. Normally, yes. Yes, sort of. But 2 seminars in 1 course. Okay? I just got two slides from the DMAT 704. One of them is talking about session initiation protocol in terms of services and in terms of example of communications. This is what you expect to have almost for the whole semester. You're gonna learn about voice and how it's being transported right and left through proxies and without proxies and so on. Okay, do you have any questions? Oh, I forgot to say, there are no tutorials for this course, no TA, and no numerical problems. Okay? So I don't know if it's good or bad, but this is what we have. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Okay, so he's asking about the project in the NLP course. If I have any idea about the project, I don't. But we can expect that it's going to be an implementation project, practical project. What I know is that Dr. Muhammad has used several tools for NLP, specifically for, I don't remember if it was voice recognition or text recognition. I know that he used tools before for that. Whether he will involve these tools in the project or not, I don't know. So that's something probably you would have to ask him. But what I know is that probably it will be a practical project. Sorry? Text only. The recognition algorithm was text only. Do you remember its name? Sphinx, I think. I don't know. NLTK. Okay. That's one of the tools Dr. Muhammad used before. I really don't know what he's going to do in the project. Okay. Type. I'll talk to you a little bit about Dr. Wael's course. This is a course that is regularly offered. So you will find it offered, I think, ever since Dr. Wael joined the MET faculty. So it's offered every year, human-computer interaction. Human-computer interaction is one of the most important fields in computer science. The course is, of course, offered to both majors, and it does not have an upper cap. So any number basically can join. The course basically is divided into assignments, 3 assignments in total, a project, a midterm, and the final exam. Okay? Baraha. طيب. The course is, as far as I know from previous offerings, it's practice-oriented. So Dr. Wael teaches practical skills in the course. And the project, you actually will benefit from our newly formed HCI lab. So we have a lot of nice gadgets that we can use. We have, what do we have? Where is it? We have the emotive headset for BCI and EEG work. We have leap motion devices, the Xbox 360 and Kinect. We have mini handheld projectors. We have high resolution projectors, tabletop systems. So we have many gadgets that you will probably be using in the projects or in the practical parts of this course. So what is the course about? The course is about interaction styles, understanding basic HCI tasks. A basic or an important component of the course is some physiology information, because at the end of the day, HCI is about interactions between humans and computers. So you will have to understand a little bit about physiology of humans. And an important component of the course is experiment design and analysis. Again, because it's HCI, whatever you propose or whatever you design is going to be used by humans. So in order to evaluate whatever you are producing, whatever product you are going to propose to people, you have to test it on people. And so this involves the design of an experiment. Any of you who are doing HCI bachelor projects, I'm sure you already know what it is about to design an experiment, to do a user study, to do surveys. So basically, the course is going to teach you the basics of how to do that. Okay? So any questions about this course? No questions. Good. Yes? No, the course does not have tutorial. Okay, let me actually correct that. Last year, there was a TA involved in the course. It doesn't happen every year. I don't know whether Dr. Wael will choose to involve a TA with him in this course or not. It changes every year. Last year, it was, I think, Islam, our new TA. He was the one who is teaching the course. I don't know whether this will be repeated again this year or not. So we'll have to figure it out. Sorry? The project probably will be related to one of the technologies that I discussed with you. So probably using one of the new gadgets that we have or something like that. I think, or from previous knowledge of the course offerings, what Dr. Wael does is that you do something with an HCI technology and you design an experiment to evaluate what you have done. So I think the project at the end has to involve some experimental evaluation as well. Okay. Sorry? Any few questions? Okay. Next, I'll talk about the course that I sent to you a few days ago. The course is called Empirical Evaluation and Empirical Methods. It's also a course that is offered for the first time in our faculty, and it's going to be offered only to 25 students chosen by GPA. The course will be taught by a German professor, and it will be taught similar to some of the courses that we offer in the Berlin campus. So the lectures will be taught in blocks, That means the professor is going to come 3 or 4 times per semester. He's going to give a number of lectures in bulk, but the course is going to continue throughout the semester through regular tutorials and labs. So you're going to have, between lectures, you're going to have practical experiments and practical tasks that you will do. The course is very practice-oriented. It actually focuses on a very specific area of HCI, which is actually the experimental design area. This is the only thing that the course will discuss. So through this course, you will learn how to investigate an HCI area, how to design an experiment for this area, and how to actually execute this experiment and execute a user study and produce results. And at the end, hopefully, you will learn also how to write a CHI-styled research paper. CHI is the leading conference in HCI, okay? It's the one that all HCI researchers strive to publish in every year, okay? The course will be offered, as we see here, a number of lectures and projects, project presentations, and the paper submission. The percentages have not been finalized yet, so you will get them later, but basically this is roughly the idea. So you will get, at the beginning of the semester, a number of lectures. You will define a number of tasks. You will do these tasks and do practical experiments with the TA until the time for the next group of lectures, yeah, okay? Type. What is the difference between what this course teaches and what Dr. Wael will be teaching? Dr. Wael will only give you an idea about experimental design necessary for you to actually implement the project of the course. This course is only about experimental design. Okay? So the HCI component in the course is actually minimum. Okay? So how to decide whether you want to take this course or not? It actually depends on whether you will pursue a research career or an industry career or something related to HCI. If you are going to pursue something related to HCI, then the course is actually going to be of extreme importance to you. If you're planning to do a master's in HCI, or if you're planning to work in a field related to HCI, then this is actually, might be the most important course that you will take. If you're not planning to do that, still the area is of importance. Whenever you want to actually conduct a user study or experiment or something like that, these are actually the concepts that you will be using, but it will be of obviously less importance than if you are actually studying HCI in particular. Yeah. Okay? Last course I'm going to discuss, and then I'm going to open the floor to Dr. Aisha to talk about the machine learning algorithms course. I'll just talk briefly about mine. My course is called Selected Topics in Modern Networks. It was also a course that was offered in previous years, except that I might have offered it under different titles before. نوع من التمويه معلش. But the course is basically the same. The course has 2 main objectives. First objective is to augment sort of your knowledge of the networking field, of the state-of-the-art technologies in the networking field. And another objective that is important to me personally, which is to empower actually your research skills, if you choose to do so, okay? The course is also offered to 25 students because this is a course that I manage myself. So no TA will be involved. I like to actually manage everything in the course myself. And so this is why I'm going to restrict the number this year to only 25 students, okay? Type. The content of this course are divided into 3 parts. The first part is about wireless technologies, okay? So you will learn a little bit of how some of the technologies that we use every day work, like Wi-Fi and like mobile networks. Whenever we discuss one of these technologies, we will discuss the current standard that we mostly use. In case of Wi-Fi, it's called 822.11n. This is what we have on our laptops. And we will discuss what is going to be available next. In case of Wi-Fi, it is Li-Fi. So this is what we will discuss. In case of mobile networks, we will discuss a little bit 2G, 3G, and 4G. And we'll also discuss a little bit about 5G. The goal here is to give you an idea about how these technologies work and how you as computer scientists can actually benefit from knowing how these technologies work, okay? This is going to be the first, let's say, third of the course. The second part is about internet technologies, and here we will focus on the internet core, We will learn how information or bulk information gets transported from one place in the internet to the other. We will learn about internet architectures like content delivery networks and something called internet exchange points. Basically, you will learn more about what happens when you click or when you enter a URL in your browser and the content gets delivered to you from somewhere. Up to this point, I think in our networks course, we assume that this somewhere is a server somewhere. This is actually not necessarily true. So we will learn actually how the core of the internet works. At the end of this section, I discuss usually some popular internet technologies, and this is actually a part that changes every year. Last year, I discussed Tor, the privacy-enabled browser. I discussed technologies like software-defined networks and network function virtualization. It changes every year depending on the state of the art. Okay? Last part of this course is something that is introduced this year, and I'm calling it Networking for Developers. So here, I'm going to teach you a little bit of practical skills about how to optimize something that you're developing. For example, let's say you're developing a mobile application. How do you make it battery efficient? How do you make it data efficient? How do you minimize the amount of data that is being sent? Okay? This is actually why we need to learn about the standards like Wi-Fi and mobile networks, because it has to do a lot with that. It also teach you about how to optimize the web applications that you develop, how to optimize the HTTP interactions, for example, through designing a client cache, or optimizing other APIs, like WebSockets. Okay? So in this part, I'm not going to teach you principles of software development, but I'll teach you the networking part of software development. Okay? The evaluation methods of this course are rather simple. You have 40% final, 20% midterm, and a big chunk, which is worth 40%, is for practical work. There's no one specific thing that you'll be doing throughout the semester. Basically, I give the students a choice of two things. If you're interested in learning research methodology, then what you will be doing is, starting the beginning of the semester, you'll be investigating a research topic. You learn how to formulate a research statement, how to propose a methodology for that, implement it, and if you do that, if you invest enough effort throughout the semester, you'll actually end up with a paper at the end. Okay? If you're not interested in research, what you will be doing is that you'll be implementing a practical project throughout the semester. The choice of that, I'll be proposing some topics, or you can actually propose your own, but obviously it has to do, it should do with something related to the course contents. Okay? That's basically my course. Any questions? Since I'm doing 25 students, I can actually afford to do individual projects in this case if you want. Okay. Well, the paper has a practical part. Not a paper as in you write a paper. A paper is actually just the publication or the output that you will publish at the end. But through that, you will be investigating a topic and implementing a methodology that you will propose. So it's not just writing a paper as in writing a survey report or something like that. Any other questions? Any questions about any of the courses that I discussed? Okay, so in this case, I will leave the floor to Dr. Aisha to discuss the machine learning algorithms course.
Right, so I'm going to talk very briefly about the machine learning algorithms course. We all have bachelors to write. Some of us have to read them as well. Right, so this is an algorithms course. You guys have taken an algorithm course before. Dynamic programming, search algorithms, that sort of thing. Why did you have to study different types of algorithms? إمتى بنختار dynamic programming, إمتى بنختار greedy? Probably because each of them is best. Okay, so maybe we'll have to revise this at the beginning of the semester, because each of them, each class of algorithms is best fit for solving a certain type of problem. Same story apply for machine learning algorithms. So the way the course is structured, that we're gonna through different algorithms, each of them is best fit for solving a class of problem. I'm going to say some jargon, and probably if you're interested, you're going to search, and you'll discover more about them. So we cover neural networks, we cover support vector machines, we cover clustering algorithms, and a few more. Not very relevant, right? طيب, if these are algorithms, how are they different from dynamic programming, or how are they similar to greedy? The truth is, machine learning is very different from the way that we've been teaching you to think about programming and solving problems so far. It's a radically different paradigm. So when you're writing a program or an algorithm, the assumption is you're the expert. You know how to solve this problem. You know that to find the shortest path between 2 points, you could follow a greedy approach, find the shortest path between you and the next step, and then keep repeating this, right? So you are the expert. You know how to solve the problem. With machine learning, we're very humble. We know that some problems we don't know the answers for. And they can be very simple. Something like this. We'd like to fit each of the 3 figures either in box A or box B. And I'm asking you to write an algorithm that solves this problem automatically. How would you go about it? نحط البلو crescent فين؟ في A ولا في B؟ A. Why? The color or the shape? Both? The color, because A has more blue items, blue objects. Right, how about the blue arrow? Where should we fit it? B, why? There is a red arrow there. How about the blue? Isn't the color just as important? Maybe even more important for solving this problem. And A has all the blue diagrams. Do we know which is more important, the shape or the color? It depends on the problem. What if this is not a problem that a human being designed for you to solve? What if it's a natural phenomenon? What's more important for climate change? The carbon emission or the fact that Trump was elected? So, you see what I'm getting at? Not really. Sometimes we don't know the algorithm to solve the problem. All what we know, as in the case of the diagram fitting or the figure fitting, we know some examples. We know that all the blue figures were in A. We know that all the arrows were in B. However, we don't know an algorithm to approach this or to solve it repeatedly. We have what we call data points. We have examples. How is this related to machine learning? The word learning. What we're trying to do in machine learning is writing a piece of code, an algorithm, that allows the machine to learn the same way that we humans learn. How do we learn most of the time? By imitation, by example. So we will be writing for most of the semester code that doesn't claim that it knows the solution to the problem. However, it's a piece of code that adapts the machine to learn through seeing a huge set of data that was solved before. So we have a sample of handwritten digits or characters, and then we tell the machine, this is Mustafa's handwriting of the word CS, and this is Husam's handwriting of the same word. And hopefully, when we show the machine enough examples, later on, it will be able to translate the handwriting of so many different people that it hasn't seen them before to the actual word. And this is how OCR, or the automatic handwriting recognition, on your mobile phones work. Questions? حد عنده فكرة what are examples or applications of machine learning other than handwriting recognition?
Watermelon recognition.
نعم؟ طيب ايه اخبار الفوركاستنج؟ How about stock market prices? Can machine learning help with this? حد شاف الفيلم ده؟ Margin call, predicting the economic collapse or the financial crisis. How can you predict this from data about the stock market changes? Do you know the equation that's gonna predict the next fall of the market? Not really. You know that the prices of stocks are heading in a certain direction, could be fluctuating, could be decreasing consistently. All you have is data. You take all this data record, you apply it to a machine learning algorithm, and eventually you get to forecast the progress of the markets afterwards. From the inside, this is what this looks like. That kind of algorithm. So this is more of a disclaimer. Lots of people approach the machine learning course as a data application course. We're gonna learn how to do all the cool stuff. Turns out that inside, this is an algorithm course with lots of mathematical formulations of the problem. So yes, I'm trying to warn you not to take the course if you're not into that kind of thing. Disclaimer done. How is machine learning related to big data? إيه الفرق ما بينهم? Are they the same thing? Not necessarily. Big data can be used in machine learning. How? Okay, so that's very correct. In my lecture, you'll get a bonus for this. So with big data, you end up collecting large amounts of data. Machine learning allows you to analyze them through the algorithms that you're gonna learn through the semester. So big data addresses the challenge of the data size, while machine learning is how to interpret it to understand some meaningful conclusions out of it. How is machine learning related to data science? حد سمع الترم data science before? Okay. Data analytics? Yes.
For example, have a set of tweets about a certain company, and you take a sample of this and you train it to tell him this is a negative tweet, this is a positive tweet, this is a neutral tweet, and then you feed it back into the algorithm and it learns, and then it applies it to very sensitive data.
Okay. So this is a sentiment analysis application. However, this is a machine learning application, not data science. So the way data science is related to machine learning, should you be interested to learn about data science in the first place? Is it something important? إيه أخبار skills for employment? This is actually the top skill that you learn to be that you need to be employed, or the skill that will get you employed better than any other one in computer science. Machine learning is just part of it, and it's the algorithmic aspect of it. And what we learn in this course qualify you to write new machine learning engines or algorithms rather than to use them. So if your idea is to use machine learning data science application to analyze web traffic, probably you'll be better off going through a short course. In this class or in this course, we're actually learning how to build new or advanced machine learning algorithms so you can create packages that serve businesses in the future. So it's quite groundbreaking. The experience of people who've taken the course last semester when talking to companies in the market like Teradata, they're one of the leading data science companies in Egypt, is that they know so much about their packages in more detail than the engineers of Teradata know in Egypt. So again, you have to have the aptitude for it, the algorithm, and the interest and curiosity to know more than what a business person will need. Now I'll take questions. Tutorials. So last year we did have a tutorial, but it only started through the second half of the semester. This time we're hoping to have a better structure. So yes, I think it will have a tutorial. It will have, last time we had 3 projects, small project, the first and the third, and then a monstrous project halfway. So hopefully this semester we'll have a better structure, 4 projects of equal size. The other thing that you need to know is machine learning is very computationally demanding, as some bachelor students know already. So you need to have a strong machine or the willingness to leave your machine working for 4 hours to solve a certain problem. We're hoping to get a cluster by that time. Right. No more questions? Thank you.